Commissioners, your meeting is live.
Okay. Welcome to the January 22nd meeting of Raleigh County Commissioners. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone. Do we have any public comments?
Good morning, Commissioners. Ashlyn Easterday with the REACH Committee, and I'm here to present the Employee of the Month for February. The Employee of the Month is Jessica Height, and the nomination went on to say, I would like to nominate Jessica Height from the Treasurer's Office for Employee of the Month. As the Chair of the Employee Day Committee, I've observed firsthand how priorities shift as the event approaches with tasks requiring immediate attention. When I requested Jessica's assistance in completing the slideshow honoring employees' years of service, she immediately agreed to help without hesitation. Employee recognition is a vital component of the Employee Day, and Jessica did an outstanding job facilitating this important task. She designed a thoughtful questionnaire for employees, compiled the responses, and expertly created the slideshow to be presented during the event. Her proactive approach and dedication significantly eased the workload for the committee, exemplifying true teamwork and commitment. Jessica's willingness to step in and contribute so seamlessly is greatly appreciated and makes a meaningful difference for all Riley County employees. Her professionalism and enthusiasm make her a deserving candidate for this recognition. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Speech if you'd like to. You got the podium.
Yeah.
Want a picture with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's hold it.
And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody. I had no idea. We heard her.
Everybody left.
Just like that.
Okay, do we have any other public comments?
Yep.
Jacob.
Sure do. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor. Good morning, Commissioners. I'd like to ask that we amend the agenda to add an executive session for attorney-client consultation at the end of the meeting. It should be for approximately 20 minutes.
Go ahead and make a motion to add an executive session to the end of this morning's agenda. Second.
As we moved and seconded to an executive session to the end of the meeting for approximately 20 minutes. All in favor?
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, seeing that, we'll go to Commissioner comments. Who wants to start? Greg, do you want to start first?
Last Thursday, I attended the city county meeting and Jared Tremblay gave an MPO gave an update on US 24 quarter study. Saturday afternoon, watched the great basketball games, KCP being previously in Texas Tech. Exciting game. Saturday evening, was the fire department's appreciation dinner and awards ceremony. And Raleigh County is fortunate to have these dedicated men and women that are willing to volunteer, to help keep their neighbors safe. They gave recognition for hours, or out something for hours service, years of service and stuff. People are really dedicated.
They didn't have a fire this year where half of them had to get
No,
up.
that wasn't, they talked about that a couple years ago.
Yeah,
The alarms went off and people left.
yeah.
Tuesday was a law board meeting. John Motta stepped down and Jim Morrison has filled the Manhattan City position. And there was discussion about the possibility of moving the meeting to a county facility, and it was kind of long back and forth. It was decided to keep the meeting at City Hall. The facilities work there, and that's where people are used to knowing where it is. Mark French gave an interesting update during his jail update. He had a booklet from the first law board consolidation, gave us different facts and figures about how small it was at the time. But actually, Jim Morrison, who we just put on there, was on the very first law board. He was the county attorney then.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been on there from both directions now. Then Wednesday, something's got me this morning, was a juvenile detention board meeting. No problems happening, which is always good news. There was one of the, some kind of a social worker there to talk about interaction with one of the juveniles' fathers. This kid had just been there for 2 weeks, but said he's going to be there for a long time. Father wanted to know how kids are treated and everything, and he was so appreciative of what they did that he thanked them for what they're going to be able to do for him. So she said, that's why you do that job. You don't get that very often, but when you do, it really makes sense.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday evening, the K-State women won another close game with Houston, but no extracurricular activities this time. The rest were being pretty close. If anybody got time enough for a jump ball, they jumped in there, separated pretty quickly. That's all I had.
Okay. Well, since last Thursday's meeting, as everybody's probably aware, I've been dealing with illness. I'm sorry for leaving the meeting early once again, but it was just rough. Did meet the doctor at mid-afternoon on Thursday. Got another shot, a round of antibiotics, and stayed home for the rest of the day. Woke up Friday, did feel somewhat better, tried to reschedule and get a couple of meetings in to try to stay ahead. I'm awfully behind right now, but started feeling worse in the afternoon. But did make it downtown to see the CPE building, the offices. They're hard at work down there. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks really, really nice. A couple of things we might want to consider discussing what we want for window coverings, because that hasn't been covered. No pun intended. And thought about maybe, if you're there at night or something, you're going to be able to see directly through.
Yeah.
So we might want to get something together for that. Otherwise, if you want to keep them open, but we need some privacy.
And the offices don't have any heaters.
Yeah, and bathrooms and so on and so forth. That hasn't been discussed yet. The contractor was saying that. And the other thing I was thinking about too is if we wanted to plan some kind of a open house or something at some point in time to open it up and let the public kind of see what we did and why we did it. Just something to think about there on that. So, weekend is rather brutal as I just laid around sick pretty much. Was able to watch some playoff football and did catch up on the live stream of the meetings I've missed. Congratulations goes out to both the K-State men's and women's basketball team. As Commissioner McKinley said, beat a very good ranked undefeated Texas Tech team, and K-State picked up their first conference win. So hopefully we get on a roll here and it's some good things to come. Hopefully everybody had an enjoyable Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I actually started feeling better, which was great. Got caught up on some correspondence and didn't actually realize how many friends I have in the great state of Indiana until Monday night. The Hoosiers won the national championship. I'm rooting for the little guy, but I didn't realize how many people I know in the state of Indiana until calls and texts and everything else started coming in. So So congratulations to them. Always great to see the little guy win for a change. Tuesday and Wednesday made it back to work, got in the flow of things again, which was great. Wednesday afternoon, I attended the January meeting of the Flint Hills Metropolitan Organization at the Manhattan Public Library. After some opening welcomes and introductions, as we have 3 new city members from Junction City, Wamego, and Manhattan. Had no public comment, got a financial update from the organization, staff updates, included the second connection cost benefit analysis and the 24 corridor study. Basically a replication, I think, what you probably heard on Thursday at the City County meeting. A couple of action items included approval of the December meeting minutes, the Flint Hills ITS architectural report. Some of our discussion items included the 25 end of the year budget and CPG. Working with KDOT and Fort Riley on an impaired driving partnerships grant that will allow rideshare. I don't know if that's going to be through Uber and Lyft or just one or the other, but it will allow some of the soldiers to be able to kind of move back and forth without having to drive or having quite the problem with driving under the influence. One of the key components to the Major General's agenda at this point in time. So hopefully we'll have something worked out before early summer on that. And I can also say for the first time since I've been on the board, which is now year number 8, all 7 jurisdictions were represented in the meeting. So all 3 cities, all 3 counties, and then the KDOT representative. So we were 7 for 7 yesterday. And then lastly, speaking of KDOT, I did ask about the removal of the traffic signals over on Marlatt and K13. Did get a response back from the area engineer out of Wamego. Responded that the temporary signal was removed per the project plans, and I'm still not for sure on that, but to restore the pre-project conditions. He's feeling that the traffic volume should drop on K113 once traffic stabilizes following the opening over there. We've already had a couple, at least one serious accident, and I think we've had 2 total since the lights have come down. So it's just something to think about. There's going to be continued discussion at the intersection with the city. They may advise doing some kind of a traffic study next year. Done plenty of traffic studies, but I guess what's another one? And not aware of any other change plans for that particular corridor at this point in time. So it'll be up to KDOT and local partners to discuss what appropriate action will be needed moving past there. So be expecting some discussions on that here over the next year and a half, I'm assuming. So, and that's about all I got this morning.
Okay, well, last week I did attend the city county meeting and also the fire department banquet, and Commissioner McKinley covered that really well. Tuesday attended the law board meeting. As vice chair, I took the chair position, and Commissioner McKinley was elected as vice chair. And then Caleb James was reelected for another year as the hearing officer. So we had to do all those things. After the meeting, an executive session was called to hear and rule on a contested disciplinary action. And that session lasted for about 3 hours. So it was a whole day. Yeah. Let's see. And then meetings in the county, we discussed various locations. In the county here, we have the RCPD range and one in Zintel, and then one in Keats, with dates and times to be determined. Thought the Keats would be good because we'll have the infrastructure going at that time, and people can tour or check it out too if they want to.
We hope so.
We'll see if it works.
It's not my wood.
No, we're looking there. I mean, it's going to be going at that point.
Hope.
In the fall, for sure. Wednesday, I had some appointments downtown, and then I too stopped in to check the progress on our offices. Painting, lighting, and fans are all completed. And then carpeting on our offices
Yes.
begin Monday. And then after that, they move all the furniture back in and then they carpet the rest of it. So they've got a lot of furniture.
I almost kind of want to see that process and how they do that moving furniture. I gotta think they put it on carts or something and just shipped everything around.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the middle of the floor, but it's, they're making a lot of progress.
The ceiling fans in there looked pretty cool,
Yeah.
pretty sleek.
I played with them.
Yeah.
And the lighting. I mean, you can dim all the lights and up and down and, and it's, there's got some great updates. So, then afterwards I went upstairs and met with Jacob Hansen to check on several issues. And then he and I both went back down we looked at the space together. Then update on Keats again. A meeting of Team Keats will be on February 3rd to discuss details for the community meeting, which we've scheduled for February 12th. I did speak with Brad Foster of BG on Wednesday to ask some logistic questions and the timing for the infrastructure and how the sewer gets hooked up and all that gets connected. So those are questions that are going to come up at the community meeting. And Amanda and Vivian, actually, they printed like about flyers for me. So get some flyers out, get the word out for people. So, we are waiting for final approval from USDA to get the project out to bid. They're slow because of the shutdown that happened this past year. They just have fewer employees to look at everything. So hopefully we'll get that soon and get that going. So, because they're ready to get it out to bid. So just waiting for that approval. Anyway, that's all I've got.
For business commissioners, first amendment, your motion to approve how we use to permit AT&T to install 3 2-inch conduits with 104 CT fiber optic cable underground.
Any questions on that?
It just says across public roads in Riley County, so. Is that all of them? Okay. I mean, I just had these permits, so it's okay.
The maps on.
Yeah, there's a bunch of maps. It's hard to read.
Well,
It's hard to see what the street names are.
I don't have any issues with it. I was just curious where.
Yeah.
Let me make a motion then to approve the highway use permit for AT&T.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the highway use permit with AT&T. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair, please sign.
Only one?
Just one. Next, Commissioner, need a motion to approve tax roll corrections.
Kind of a mixture this time. Different
It is.
Yeah.
Right on mine.
Yeah.
Move to approve tax roll corrections.
One second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the tax roll corrections. All in favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign.
I hear you. Didn't see the map on there originally.
It's you got it.
I didn't feel like squinting, so I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I know the area. It's probably matching up with all the updates they did there on 77 last year. It was like eternity, but I guess it really wasn't.
Yeah. I don't know.
At the very end.
Yeah, I know. Oh, there's another one on the side. Okay. Oh, let's see. There it is. Okay. Must have run out of tabs.
I missed one, huh?
Yeah, well, two of them. It's last two.
Next, commissioners need a motion on Riley County employee action forms. Lena Zabla Chase, she's the public health nurse health department, separation of service, Sydney bifocal, Newmeyer intern, museum department. Excuse me.
Making it real difficult for you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Go ahead, and make a motion to approve the requested employee action forms.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the requested employee action forms.
All three, please sign.
You turned off.
Next, commission, motion to approve payroll and payable.
I move to approve payroll vouchers and I move to approve payroll and accounts payable.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the payroll and accounts payable. All in favor?
Aye.
All three, please sign. Yes, there was some discussion request by the city to discuss OCPD budget and I know one commissioner tended not to want to have that discussion. Another one had said they did, so I just think commission needs to give the city some direction if that's an item they want to talk about at the next city county meeting.
That'll be here, right?
Okay.
Well, I just don't understand why, and get the whole lot board here and.
Well, I
don't
do understand why, because the property tax side in the city, it's about 54% of their budget. RCPD is somewhere in that neighborhood.
It's supposed to
Well,
be
it wouldn't have to be. That's why they try to make it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Find out how money comes in, they do it, so just say that to all this, they said this money goes here.
Yeah.
Play games.
I mean, to me, it's, we have representatives of a lot, but it should be discussing.
But
Rather than the whole team. But.
It doesn't matter to me. I think the conversation would probably be good just to get it out in the open, but if we don't want to, that's fine too.
if they're gonna do that for the city county meeting. Gives us something to do there.
Yeah,
But I can see what. Trouble. Maybe this. I'm gonna stuff.
because they're supposed to be at 80%.
Well, it might be a good time to talk about county expenses too, when it comes to building maintenance and obviously the increase in. Yeah, right.
Well, and what happens if they,
It's a good platform to have that discussion, just to educate
Yes.
not only, the people that are there that know, but the public and the media as well.
well, and about how the city is to expand.
Well, that's.
That's
I
a big-
didn't talk, but if, it's there, in that meeting. The city county. Well,
Yeah. So, well, if they, in order to, you guys would do it, it's fine.
We want to do that at the next February.
I believe so.
What is that?
10.
We need to have some sort of an agenda or discussion points from them that they want to talk
Well,
about.
I think it's pretty much what she had said, is that is the discussion points. I need more detail, over to you guys.
And what did she say?
Well, I think if we get back to the level of budget, I think we should also look at what are their plans for. Expanding our speedy population. I asked that question, they said, that's something I want to look into, well.
Oh, yeah, we need to get that out.
Yeah.
Talk about how much that's from taxpayers and how,
How they tend to pay off, or share.
well, well, I think it's
I'm
right.
sorry, I kind of test the constitutionality of that.
Yeah.
That may be something that the AG's office may have to get involved in and make an opinion on. We've had to do it with fire services, other emergency services. I wouldn't this be any different?
Well, and yeah, that's part of it too. So,
Works for me.
See what that discussion,
Okay.
any change to the minutes, commissioners?
I wasn't even here.
We wrote that you voted for it.
Yeah, I bet you did. All the bad stuff, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All that stuff. came in.
controversial things.
Yeah. That's
I haven't heard about it yet.
Plan, So. that's all.
I didn't see anything in there that threw up any red flags to me, so. But I make a motion that we approve the minutes as written from the January 15th, 2026 meeting of the Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the January 15th meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye. Any agenda from commissioners?
The intergovernmental is still at Rock and Cays, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
It is.
that's what I wrote down. I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify that. Okay.
Any items for next week's press conference? Good.
Anybody else going to local government day on Wednesday?
I think Greg, were you going to?
Okay.
I hadn't said it, but
I thought you
may not think it.
Yeah.
Something else has come to.
That's what I
Huh?
Might try and get there, but.
Trying to get a meeting scheduled.
That.
That's just one of our legislators, not two.
Well, I just,
Oh,
if it's all right,
okay.
I didn't make it for public comment, but I was just going to make everybody aware of the severe weather coming in and the extreme wind chills. And what I emailed you a little bit ago was they're increasing the potential snow numbers for us. Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, I saw the Euro model this morning said 9.9.
Yeah, so we'll see, but I just wanted to highlight that. Sorry, I didn't make it over here for public comment, but obviously the snow is dangerous, but the extreme wind chills are the most dangerous.
Yeah, they're what, -10 or something?
There's some -20
I saw -22.
with wind chill, -5 actual temperature and up to -20 wind chills. So everybody needs to stay in this weekend and
Be patient.
take precautions. Get your groceries tonight, not tomorrow night.
I noticed Dylan's was pretty packed last night too.
Yeah.
I was trying to walk around
Right.
people and try to find a parking spot. I'm like, okay, everybody's planning their, that's good. Yeah, spot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russell.
I filled up on gas and put some heat in there, so on and so forth.
Very exciting.
Morning. Kind of the same, it's never really exciting, but we do have a full staff. Everybody's been hired on and it's going well at this point. From this last year, we had a busy year with trials. Clark Peterson obviously was probably one of the bigger ones, three weeks, and a significant number of victims involved in that case. And certainly we continue to have contact with a number of the people that were impacted by that. And I think it's been something very negative, very tragic, but there have been some positive outcomes on it. And there's some legislation that's resulting in it. And some of the, victims, I think maybe you saw in the newspaper, some of them have come forward, which, I commend them for that, because the shame should be on the offender and it should never be on the victim. And so I certainly commend their participation, and they've actually helped out and reached out to other victims of sexual assault in cases we've had since that time. So there has been really something good that's come out of something very bad. So we don't have any cases 3 weeks on this year. We have several trials that as long as it takes to get to trial anymore for cases, I don't see any of those 3 weekers, but you never know. So I won't rule it out. But we will have a lot of trials, continue to have a lot of sexual assault trials, those types of offenses, violent crimes. I think we'll probably have a homicide trial or two in the next year. We'll certainly, I think we've done a reasonably decent job of being successful on all our major cases. And that wouldn't be possible without the support of the commission. And so again, what we were able to do last year, and I've talked to other jurisdictions that don't have the level of support that we do, and they don't have the success and we're able to have success in large part because of the support we get from the commission and the community. So certainly want to thank the commission for the support that I've had for 21 years now, going on 22 years. It makes the job, makes it easier to come to work. Yeah. And so certainly gratifying. And like I said, we couldn't have the success we did without the commission support. So thank you. Any questions?
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Next, Commissioner Elizabeth Hanson, 9:50.
Update. Yeah, he does send it every year, even the non-election year, but yeah. That's basically.
Yeah, we did. I thought it was, yeah, this, no, we had. That's fine. I was worried that was a fair thing for it all, but it sounds like, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Very informative. I think I understand a little more. Try out more questions, but. Yeah. Yeah, so. Yeah. Some of the stuff we were talking about kind of crossed over your too. So, yeah. Yeah, so maybe we're about 2 weeks more. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, material days next week or. Yeah. I've heard of about that. Tuesday. That's good. Okay, fine, that's just.
I spoke to that.
1:30. I spent 1:30, okay. There was a certain, yeah, and it's not just a cross, I mean, I have two in person. I'm list of questions. Well, yeah, I guess that's what he's doing for you. Inheritance and. Probably. 60 services all on stage. Sure, yeah, all those, yeah, I'm assuming this is that, so, whatever the name was, us, yeah, I'm kind of meeting us. Beautiful talk. I was outside. You're doing the kind of costs, you know, obviously, place, like, we're getting it, like, since it's a big deal, which is, you know, they're. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine, sure, yeah, that sounds good. Things that would, yeah. That's the system of side. That's it's not always about that. No, they say they like to do. Where are you? And I know off yeah, I met her. I actually knew I had a sister of K-State. She's just been academics. Grace. Grace going to get into Virginia or somewhere. Yeah, I was really good at that. Yeah. On the game, you know. Yeah, you leave that game and that's better. Yeah, they look there and it's supposed to student section was still. Yeah, that's what's so interesting. I was watching on TV and yeah, students showed up. Kudos to them. Got the rest of them. Yeah. So, the bad news, it looked like, it's just looking about short, like, looked like it was a rerun resolution. Assuming it'd be a different, soon be a 3-week shot from the found here. Yeah, it's a shooter, one of her, this, what's the back, yeah, I know. It's all the same guys. He's because he just went after another. And a couple of those shots. Well, what about on the women's team? But yeah, he was assisting, like they were getting like 6 months, yeah. Real nice running like we usually do. They were kind of happening. It's that time of year. They would throw people. Since that time of year, you leave office space and hasn't had. Yeah, a portion of it. Yeah, it's Because everybody's been really must have access to the message where people are playing, to science and except for Sarah. She was playing terribly. Everybody has had me. She had so this a bunch of shots from those. That's a when she came back in,
Everybody else is.
you know, they got her going because of the second action, but gave her some incentives. That's what. Something radio was talking about, it says, well, Bobby died, shots in the back, and goes to the bench, and somehow our players sit on that bench, and all of a sudden, things go up on screen, and you realize, I need to do, I don't want to sit here, I've got to go out there.
Oh, really? I never heard that.
It's some kind of it's a whole spiel, and they had the parts in it, I just look it up, but it's it. You learn a lot from sitting at the bench, and it comes up the bench. Yeah,
The incentive fine you.
yeah.
Well, Bobby and I gave some.
If. In the event, I'm not saying usually. They fired, they have.
That's sort of, that was, we experienced that Lincoln, I was. I think.
Quarter and a half of
How maybe.
Well, they wanted to lease it. Release it, we wanted to lease it, have space. And
Yeah, maybe you could.
Yeah.
It was, man, what was.
Yeah, you're seeing how snow yet.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I just, I feel like.
If you go more.
South usually seems so big, it's really fast. It usually doesn't, they don't have the big stuff, so it's. I think he said it would be nice.
Get dusty.
Yeah, then you did kind of, because I was looking for, I was only, I'm sure they say this too, but I think, yeah, last year was big surprise. Charge, and year after that, they had this. Yeah, I heard. I had heard lots of stuff, because after the tornado speaking, so season. Every time there was a cloud in space, it was silence. You know? Yeah.
Get a little gun shy.
Yes, they got a little, they got going down the basement, yeah, you know, that's the same one in there. That's what, but also you did, so you was taking it to the.
Speak on 6 tornado, you know, I'm not sure they did for my dogs, but we did, that, but. In the basement, there's a Tennessee, well, south, just. It's like, it's not spray, for sure, it's not, it's like 10-inch concrete goes out. And we couldn't figure out why, it's not structurally isn't anything. And then I talked to someone, that lived in that area, they had that timber basement, in their basement, those houses were built down here, that was the tornado shelter. Is that like a section in the basement, and that's why they just.
Well, also, because they always say the Southwest team is the safest place to blow. Yeah, I mean, that's the devil's briefly had. Yeah, and part of it, there are 7 or 8 kids shy of these families, they're getting out, cute in junior high, that's part of one of this, this, I don't understand. So they like, he was too super great. And they, well, that's true. That's probably freeze. A swim off, swim off, they got freezes. Where they were out. Yeah. In some. It was amazing. Just had to see. They had to go clean up. They also said that they'll just think that sure. They wanted to get some of those. Police. Yeah, and something what good that I figured like we can take these and send one person that they're going to feed hard. And hopefully. Yeah, they have like. That was a block from the camps. Unreal. But it went by hours, it was the narrowest, you know. I say, why did not have? They said it up and down and said, why right there. The narrowest places was more below.
Well, hey,
Yeah, we got a lot of shit, veins were all shredded. you know, just two thought, it's near, as reason, what I couldn't run this way, my region, it was the whole thing, the things were inspiring. You saw our future tree and it all got it, it's here. Now, I'll have to go out for this, and they said. Pressure for seven. Yeah. Odd because one of the baddest like. Yes. Commissioners, you ready? Yeah. Very good, got my grades on, which was a lot.
I know my presentations aren't always the most entertaining, so I understand.
And for the next 2 years to learn.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. Jacob Hanson, Riley County Councilor here. First thing I'd like to start with for my administrative session is, of course, the interlocal cooperative agreement for the US 24 corridor management study. You guys should be relatively familiar, as that was the topic of our city county meeting a couple days ago. This is just formalizing the agreement. One thing you'll notice in the fiscal impact, which might raise an eyebrow, I suppose, is that, you know, obviously we've agreed to obligate 115,833. There is a kind of catch-all of if the project costs were happen to reach $1 million, that it would be split by thirds equally between the entities at that point. There is almost likely no possible way for it to get to there, but as we like to do in contracts, you plan for virtually everything if you can. So that's why that provision is in there, and just wanted to make sure I address that in case you've seen that and raise any eyebrows. Did the commission have any sort of questions on the agreement itself?
It seems like this is the fourth or fifth time we've signed something.
Right. Well, so, and the reason why it feels like that, there was a lot of just MOUs, non-binding agreements, just saying, hey, you know, and I think that was used to help with KDOT get the funding that for them to commit. So we're saying, hey, we plan on doing this. We're all in agreement that we're going to do this. This is finally the agreement that says this is what's being done. So
It seemed like I've heard that.
you know, I'm not going to say it's the last one, but it should be.
Well, they, in the midst of us going through this process, KDOT kind of changed the way that they're approaching all of it too. So
Yeah.
went one direction and then they kind of switched things up and had to kind of redo it or jump back and redo it. And yeah, it's been messy.
Yeah. But the good news is at least the project and everything that's been talked about over the, I don't know how many, at least since I've been here. So well over a year at this point, that's all stayed the same as far as I'm aware.
Do you want to look at it? Yeah, we want to look at it.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's, yeah, it'd be nice to have one final.
And we're gonna get there if you guys are okay with we'll finish our end here at least, and then it's up to everybody else.
I think everybody else has already signed. We're the last one on the list.
I think City of Manhattan is, I thought they still had theirs to get through, and I don't know if Pot County also, but
No, Pot County something.
I don't know if we're the last. We may be the last, but either
Well,
way,
it did,
either way.
that's what we were discussing yesterday, that they were all going to be signed on the 20th. And we reminded everybody that not everybody was in session on the 20th because it was a holiday.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, without any further questions, I just ask that we go ahead and move to execute that agreement.
I'll make a motion to execute the interlocal cooperative agreement for the US 24 corridor management study as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to execute the interlocal cooperative agreement for US 24 corridor management plan study as presented. All in favor? Aye.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a couple.
The state.
It's a lot of copies, right?
I hope this is the last one.
One other point that I would like to bring up for the commission in my administrative time is that recently I received an email, and a couple of us received an email from Josh Brewer over there in the Habitat for Humanity. And it was specifically regarding House Bill 2408. If you recall, a little while back, Josh Brewer had a presentation, I believe it was a city-county meeting as well. He had the cups, about filling the cups up with water. If you remember that presentation, it sticks out pretty well. This is a bill that he is supporting. It's one that addresses fair market valuation. It's their attempt to at least start to have community land trusts be more legally viable. Because I believe a lot of the problems that he had when he was talking about this issue was that some of the laws needed to be cleaned up in order to allow this to happen. And so he reached out to us, asked if we would be interested in doing a testimony or a written testimony for the bill hearing that's on the 27th. We could choose to write testimony in favor. We could also oppose if the board so chooses, or of course, we don't need to do necessarily anything if the board isn't of any opinion at this time. I will say, if you would like to write written testimony, I do have my Supreme Court hearing on Monday, and I'm basically spending the rest of probably all of this weekend and up into for that. So we probably would need somebody else to write that up, and I can sign off on it if you guys so choose to. And I don't know, Anna, did you have anything you wanted to add on the fair market valuation as far as community land trusts go?
I don't really have anything to add.
Just as much as you want.
Morning, Commissioners. Anna Dorson with the Raleigh County Appraiser's Office. As the appraiser, fair market value, it's in the statute, and that's what we follow. This would be a deviation from that. And so as the appraiser, I would remain neutral, honestly, on this. I would have concerns with the valuation methodology that is outside of what's already statutorily written. Previous county council was involved in this project. I stayed out of the whole process. Again, because the statute, the constitution, the legislation is all fair market. So I would just entertain caution ultimately.
What does it do then?
If you read the full statute, it's ultimately their goal is to allow for an alternative method of valuing these community land trust properties, which would be restricting the valuation method to a formula-driven method versus actual market of the properties. There's limitations on how much they can sell them for, income requirements on who can purchase them. There's a lot involved in it. But essentially, it would just, the way it's written right now is pretty loosely written because it puts a lot of it back on the county to identify and review, but it's adding an alternative kind of exemption to market-driven value. We have to consider an additional potential methodology for community land trust properties.
Is that period? That's forever.
That's forever.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
in the statute.
I guess as a caveat to that, how's it being done currently? Because they're out there.
Market. We don't have a lot in this county. There are other.
Douglas County, Shawnee County, cities of Lawrence and Topeka.
So when you consider the way that there was language written by commission or the city that deviated from market, which essentially was something that we would not, per council, we would not want to violate the Constitution and statutes from the state, valuing them outside of what's allowed. But there's specific language in Douglas County that was written up that they are valuing them differently there. Fortunately, we don't, right now, we don't have a ton of them, but I do hear more projects like this coming. And so.
I think in order to kind of move us back into what I consider affordable housing, and everybody's got a different definition of that, obviously. And to keep it in that realm, not just a one-time buyer type of thing. It's a tool that's going to have to be used. And so I think this is something we've got to figure out.
Again,
I
ultimately,
haven't seen the actual bill yet. Yeah, I mean, I can talk to Josh about it later, but if it's cleaning that up, I understand the difficulty with that, but it doesn't seem like anybody really cares about fair market value anymore anyway on other things, but nonetheless, I see how having the unity and the equity in that is a necessary component too. We just got to figure out how to How did it intertwine?
To talk about maybe a little bit more about how the statute has it laid out and what's actually changing. Very little within the statute's changing, and this is talking about, of course, property valuation. It's in that section of the law. And it starts with, here's fair market value, here's the things that you guys need to consider, and then it lists a bunch of exceptions, right? And I think it goes like A through freaking G or J or whatever. And I think they're adding one more, and that says in just this sentence that what you can consider in fair market value is the restrictions on county approved community land trust. I'm not quoting that word for word, but county approved, right?
Yeah.
So again, that may not be word for word exact, but that is more or less what's happening.
Counties are the ones doing appraisals and the valuations through appraisal anyway, so.
There isn't any limit, but that was my question, is there a limit how many these things can be?
I would imagine,
Whatever the county.
yeah, exactly.
Says you've got enough.
Right. And that's why I think they have that language in there of county approved.
As long as it's
To limit that.
that, you know, I like the idea. That's one way to help toward.
We don't have to keep, I mean, the other options are using the other tools that are basically tax exemptions that take either away from services or, or put the burden on a separate, different population of, of the citizenry.
Well, and my understanding right now too is this is a step in the way of getting community land trusts and a functional legal environment. I don't believe this gets us all the way there. I think there's still some probable issues that they may run into that they're going to have to clean up in other areas. This is just a start.
The others just ignored this problem. Anyway,
I think and I can't speak again with much certainty, but my educated guess or presumption here is that they are not, as far as fair market value concerns go, that's not how they're making those community land trusts work. They're doing some other kind of method, ideally, of course, within the legal bounds, but perhaps the method that they're doing right now isn't proving to be as useful as it could be.
Are the 3 properties that Habitat has over in Ogden, didn't they put them in a community land trust?
I think there's 2 currently. There might be 3, but there's at least
There's
2.
3 parcels there.
Okay, there might be. I can't recall off the top of my head, John, if
They're
there are 3.
going through some zoning challenges with the city over there on that and that type.
I think where it can
across from
get
the elementary school.
potentially a little tricky is defining community land trust. Who owns the land? I mean, that's going to be, I think those are things that we need to have a lot clearer. Because like in some of the situations, I think the one in Lawrence, it is truly a community land trust. Whereas, the one right here and that I'm aware of is not community owned. It's similar, but it's not. It's a Habitat owned situation. So I think that's where there's just some things that are a little muddy in the process. If I've misspoke on that, I apologize. But ultimately, I think it's just trying to understand this is newer. Like I said, they do exist in Douglas. I am aware of those, but in other jurisdictions, they're coming. So just trying to figure out what we'll do with them as we move forward.
Didn't they, well, I know when he presented here, he said the land, was, that the ownership of the property, only the building itself would be
Transfers.
the owners.
That's correct.
Land would stay and.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of.
And that's kind of the key of adding this in where they say that as an exception to fair market value, you consider the restrictions that are on the property. And the restriction would be that they own the land, the house is not, is the owner. And I don't know, I'm not exactly sure what the proper terminology is, so I won't overstep, but I think that's the distinction that's being made.
So say Junction City approves it, but it's supposed to be county approved, so then they need to bring that to us, right? Well, Ogden rather.
Oh, yeah.
Ogden, yeah.
Well, with Ogden, Ogden transferred the property over to Habitat, but Habitat still has to follow municipal zoning and regulations, and that's that's been kind of the fight on that particular parcel because they're trying to sneak in a third house on there, and setbacks, easements, those sort of things have been kind of difficult.
Right.
They've-
So let me let's pull this back a little bit because the point of this bill again is, from my understanding, it's not to fix or have a total solution of community land trusts yet. We're not quite there. This is just the step to get it there. And of course, what I'm asking the board right now, do you guys want written testimony to be submitted for the bill consideration on Tuesday, the 27th? Do you want no testimony? Do you want to oppose and put that as testimony to the hearing?
Quite frankly, this popped on the, I mean, like a lot of things do this time of year, got popped on the radar fast, and I'm not totally understanding it just yet. So
That's
it may be good to get further educated on that, and I can contact Josh over the weekend, but that doesn't give us a window of opportunity on that. So
Makes sense to me.
my guess is they'll have testimony. Do you know what is that the House or the Senate?
It's House Bill 2408.
Okay. Do you know what committee?
Not off the top of my head.
I'm gonna say maybe local government, but I don't know. Okay. I'll follow up with Josh. I'll let everybody else do what they need to do there, but I don't think we have enough time to write
It's good
anything.
that on, the distance, it sounds good, but
Right.
I figure out what all the other implications are.
That's fair. So if I'm understanding from consensus from the board right now is no testimony, either as a proponent or an opponent to the bill, that's to be considered on Tuesday.
Correct.
So that would have to, that's just the committee that's,
Yeah, it's just a hearing. There's no, they're just,
an actual bill that's in the legislature yet, right?
well, I mean, it is a proposed bill. It's just not, it's not being considered yet. I would say it's right now, it's just hearings. People are going to come talk about it, why they think it's good, it's bad. The legislature will determine if, they like the bill as is, if they want to revise it. I mean, we're still in the very early stages as far as where this bill's at.
Well, I really like the idea of the community land trust, but I'm not sure about this bill.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I think it's not a short-term tool. It's a longer-term tool to try to keep housing in an affordable range for those that
That
need
needed.
affordable housing and without further burdening everybody else around.
Well, and also depends on how they define affordable housing.
Yeah.
It's RHID had a pretty wild range of what they considered.
$384,000 isn't affordable. I'm sorry.
There you go. All right, commissioners. Well, I did not have anything further for my administrative time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on any other matters that my office is currently handling. Otherwise, that concludes for myself. Okay. Thank you.
This kind of 2,408.
Yeah, 240.
Yeah. Looks good and it's, yeah. It's good.
There's not a whole lot of trying to change 35. I have, if you look on, you see, this was
Rest through.
Yeah.
Well, part of the issue is legislature's only planning on the 90 days by design.
Yeah, so they can rush. Pull those things through.
Yeah, as I said,
And my conversations with several legislators and not even locally, some of them aren't happy about that.
About the
Rush.
Rush.
Yeah.
Wow. Just to give people a chance to really figure out what to do.
just another tag.
The guys, well, it's election year, so everybody who's running can have more time to campaign. Quote unquote.
I heard that.
It helped their campaign if they did things right.
Right. Okay, that's fine. I'd still like to chat. Post meeting if you both have time. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Morning Commission, Evan McMillan, Public Works. As you all know, the County Transfer Station opened bids for a new tipping floor and chute last year. That project is slated to begin in March, assuming weather cooperates with us, and is expected to take around a month to 2 months to complete. Initially, the plan was to close the transfer station and divert all that trash to the surrounding county transfer stations. With it being 2 months, up to 2 months, I think that may be a little drastic for a closure, but it's definitely still an option. So the Solid Waste Management Committee recommended I look into the possibility of staying open with a temporary transfer site. I've met with KDHE a few times on some potential options. They seem to be on board as long as that's something that we want to do. Now there are some costs to staying open and having that temporary site. I think for equipment and material costs, in order to stay within the regulations and standards of solid waste, you'd be looking at anywhere from 40,000 to 60,000 just on equipment. I'm hoping that's very conservative, but we will know more once we start building and getting into that. Now, if we were to close down, that cost would be about 34,000 to 35,000, which is primarily made up of employee salaries, overhead, reoccurring costs such as utilities. So the costs for staying open are expected to be conservative at that 40 to 60. I think we can cheapen that up a little bit and essentially break even by staying open and try to match that closure cost of our loss. The other option is to stay open and only accept brush and leaves. If we were to do that, typically we make about $5,000 per month on commercial brush. So that would kind of cut down our personnel costs a little bit, but we would still be at a loss without our main source of revenue, which is trash. So
That's the best time of the year to be doing construction.
yeah,
Spring cleanup and everything else.
I know it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the big pushes of the Solid Waste Management Committee. We've got spring cleanup. What are we going to do with all this? So they really would like to see it stay open if that's something you all would like to do. Ultimately, it comes down to your decision. But that was their recommendation, is to stay open, and that's assuming we get KDHE approval and everything goes smoothly there.
Yeah, I know you had two options on
Yeah.
there.
So these are
First one, I like that first one of making one thing for commercial dumps and another one for residential stuff.
yeah, the goal there is to try to isolate it. One drawback of staying open under a temporary site is going to be traffic control. So in order to keep it all moving fluently, we're trying to separate everything as much as possible. That first option does the best job of that. We keep commercial up top, and then residential will all be diverted to the compost pad.
So you build more concrete, is that what you're gonna do?
We could probably use dirt and maybe a steel plate. That retaining wall, the existing retaining wall, we'll kind of trim the rails and push over the edge of that into a new chute.
Yeah, this wall across, so it's to dump it back into the other trucks.
Yes. Yeah,
The wall's tall enough even back there to.
Yes. yeah.
And see, it isn't bad, that's someone who removed, we had a couple of loads going there. When you're in between this big dump with those big commercial things dumping and you're trying to unload your little truck, it's.
Could make you a little nervous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're,
You're sitting there throwing stuff and they're dumping big piles right next to you. And nobody, I mean, it wasn't.
and they're
They're careful. I mean, it's just a little odd.
they're efficient with their dumping, so
Yeah.
they're pretty
They
quick.
in there, they push it out and go.
Yeah,
And like I said, the only one having residential thrown into a dumpster, it was nice to be able to shove it off the back of the truck instead of having to pick it up into a dumpster.
yes,
But, we have to make accommodations.
that will be an inconvenience for sure. Another inconvenience is going to be probably delayed, efficiencies. It's not going to be quite as efficient. We may have some backed up traffic, but hopefully we can alleviate a lot of that.
But like I said, I think it helps. It's better than sending them elsewhere. And you said like Gary and Putnam County transfer station was saying, we're not equipped for all of that.
Yeah, we were talking to our operator Ham, and they said some of those transfer stations are already pretty near capacity, and with us producing close to 150 tons per day, that may they said they could do either.
I was building 150 tons when it.
Yeah. It's they said they can handle either way, but this staying open, the option of staying open is definitely their preference. But
I'm with Commissioner McKinley. I thought one was probably the better of the two options, not just because it's cheaper, but
seems more.
it kind of keeps everything kind of segregated. And I think, we may not have all the logistics of this down for a couple of months, so we may have to, we may have to jump on the fly or something, make a few changes, but it's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our hope. So once we send these off to KDHE, get their approval, I think they're on board with option one. But
Okay.
just in case, I threw two options out there.
Because the guy pushing it down the chute kind of just does it occasionally. That smaller thing, smaller space, I'm assuming you're gonna have to be doing that pretty much continuously.
Yeah. Yes. That's kind of what we're thinking. So we're kind of throwing around the idea of maybe doing a test run 1 to 2 weeks before construction, just to see where we can improve, what issues we're having and make accommodations before we do the full shutdown. So.
No, like I say, I think it's a good idea. We need to, make adjustments to keep it open here. Yeah.
All right. Is that the consensus?
Yeah. Do we need any motion? Okay. Go ahead and make a motion to approve temporary operation plan number 1 for the Riley County Transfer Station.
I'll second.
So moved and second to approve the temporary operation plan number 1 for the transfer station. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Commissioner,
Who's taking over for Brittany on the P card discussion? What do we just, I thought we already took care of that.
And I was going to change it again. You sent it back to the. To do just the revision. It's been going back and forth fine maybe. This should be this, I feel like this should be.
What did, oh, that was the travel instead of thing. Okay. Yeah, too many of these. Okay.
This originally. It said the. Credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just clarifying that line.
And I think. This will be. But, yeah.
Who's gonna win this weekend?
Honestly, I hope it's the Patriots. I hope it's the Patriots because after everybody experience it, it's like Chiefs and right. It just
But they go back to the Patriots.
Broncos.
yeah, okay. Well, and honestly, after just broke his ankle, I can't see it.
I don't see Stidham just coming in there and, just picking up the slack. But, Denver's defense is pretty good too, a couple of plays there, and they're playing at home. So, I mean, I don't see a blowout there, to say the least. I don't see a blowout in the NFC Championship game either, but defense wins out. The full AFC West matchup with Seattle and Denver.
Seattle, that's a team we haven't seen.
I don't know our some.
Yeah, at least a decade.
So what I would like to see is Broncos and Seahawks, but
Some.
have spine.
Some are right.
It's two years.
Or Brad.
Yeah.
But like I said, but Tampa's Bay defense is one of the best defenses ever that year. So yeah.
Did you see the quote from the funding college one? Somebody asked their quarterback, their Miami quarterback, you get fun classes, and he goes, "I'm going to classes. I graduated 2 years ago." What is Miami quarterback? Said that, and then after, well, he's working, yeah, he graduated as undergrad, but he's working on a master's degree in Boston. It's on their mind and
It's no different than any of the other college guys that have been there for 7 or 8 years now. Somebody was saying, what do you call them? I'm like, veterans.
Nigel Patrick made in his 6th year.
Why people are just like playing the games they're getting, just throw off the facade.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm in it because I want to play professional football.
Right.
This is an amateur league.
Unless you're like, okay, you're like, I'm gonna stay at college and make 4 million instead of, 870,000 for, whoever picks me second.
Well, some of them aren't gonna go, I mean, most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
90% of them aren't. So they need to, that's why they're always, they grab the NIL, because they know they're not gonna make money.
I was thinking in the Big 12 this next year, Avery's got to be the most experienced quarterback in the Big 12. BYU's going to have a sophomore, and I think everybody else is a transfer.
And he was that. Yeah. Yeah. That's.
I can't even keep track of it. That's it.
Good morning.
Vivian Leyva, Public Information Officer. Thank you for the opportunity to present the monthly communications update. Although I think it's been several months since I talked to you, it just kind of falls on a holiday, which is okay with me. Well, I'll take a little break. So today I'm going to be talking about communications priorities for the year, which I've identified as updating project information, completing the communications manual, which we've talked about before, and working on ADA compliance for the website. We're going to be talking a lot about the website today. So if you fall asleep, I will just come nudge you gently. I've said before, and I typically report stats each month to kind of highlight what an important communications tool the website is. We typically have between 50 and 80,000 visits per month. That does not filter out internal traffic, I found out, but we are still serving a large number of the public through the information and services we offer on our website.
Like half of those are from me, maybe.
You're still using it though. You know, it's still useful. So I feel like I've been Chicken Little a little bit about ADA requirements that are coming for all government digital content. The deadline for this work is April 26th or April 24th, 2026. The goal is to make websites and mobile apps accessible under ADA Title II. And the rule requires compliance with, this will not mean anything to you, but Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG 2.1 level AA. So there's a lot of content in there that the lawyers got involved. Sorry for that. They very much did. But so this means we have about 3 months left to show demonstrable progress and put ourselves in a strong position for compliance. Perfection is not a reasonable goal, but progress towards making all of our content accessible for anybody who needs to use it is certainly the goal. And much like changing physical spaces to comply with ADA requirements, this work is sometimes difficult, sometimes costly, but it is for a very good purpose and the one that we have to acknowledge as a government. People need to be, if we're providing digital services, everybody needs to be able to access them. So we're going to have to change a little bit the way we do business. As the work has been ongoing, and you'll remember last year, Riley County contracted with AudioEye software, which scans our website, the text and images we put within the framework that Civic Plus provides, and scans it for accessibility issues and also repairs them. It's been a good service so far. It's been pretty hands-off. We kind of run it in the background and it takes care of a lot of those compliance issues for us right off the bat. And that has been wonderful. It saved a lot of staff time. The other, and I'm going to give you a little tour of it really quick. This little icon here at the bottom, it's a little bit hard to see on this side of the screen, but this little person here, we see this background, this little icon behind it just because I'm logged in to the website. And so this doesn't usually appear to the public. It's just this icon here. And it gives the public tools to make changes to our content that makes it easier to read. You can enlarge the text size. You can change the contrast. You can make a color shift. So if you're colorblind, you can still interact and see things. If you have different preferences or issues, you can make a lot of changes here. There you go, like that. So you can still interact meaningfully with our content, and that has been a nice tool. Let's take all those off. Boop, boop, boop. So that's been a good thing. I've been happy with the software. So in addition to this work, oh, go ahead.
I was wondering what's going on up at the header for a minute.
Yeah, it's big. Yep. So that's regular, larger, largest.
You just have to.
Gonna go through. But it gives people options, and that's a good thing. So in addition to this work that's already been done, all the documents we upload to our site, so all of the forms, all of the PDF information, that also has to be accessible, which means somebody using a screen reader can navigate just with their keyboard. The screen reader can read it aloud to them. And kind of the problem with PDFs, the helpful thing that's made them a good tool to use is it's kind of a picture of a document and you can upload, and somebody doesn't have to have a subscription to Word to open to read it, or Excel or some other paid program. PDF files you can just open in your browser and they're legible. You can print them from home if you need to. It's been helpful for adding information that people don't have to come into our office and request, or in long documents like the comp plan, however many, I don't know, 50, 100, however many pages it is. It can just be uploaded there and somebody can access it from home and flip through the pages and not have to print it out. So it's been a good tool, but we're going to have to change the way that we use it. And it's probably going to involve purchase of another software, which Chris Schneider from IT and Michael Hawthorne and I just met about again, well, this week to discuss kind of what a policy could be for Riley County to make that happen. And Corey has a line on a really great software that might make this a lot easier for us to do. So, you have a question? Okay, you had, I thought your eyebrow, maybe had a question. Well, we'll talk later. When we were first looking at software options for PDF remediation about a year ago, the early options were absolutely cost prohibitive. It was going to be kind of thousands upon thousands of dollars. They were charging $10 per page of a PDF document. And like I said, the comp plan, however many 100 or so pages, it's not per document, it's per page of that document is $10, because a lot of this work has to be done manually by a person. We're hoping a new solution is available and we'll keep you abreast of that. I hope to be able to come back to you within a couple weeks with a proposal. And then kind of as a side note to this work, it's easy. I don't mean to be too chicken little about it, so I hope I'm not overwhelming anyone. But we're about halfway up the mountain at this point, and we're going to get the rest of the way, and it's going to be okay. But as a side note, NACO published information back in November indicating the Department of Justice might reassess how to reduce the cost of compliance, maybe reduce some of the requirements, but I haven't heard another word about it. They estimated implementation costs, NACO estimated implementation costs to comply with the rule will total more than $1 billion nationwide. So every government entity at every level is being asked to do this. We're well on our way. We still have work to do. To do some of this work, since it's likely quite a lot of it will be manual, I've reinstated the website management team. So we have 39 people who after today will be trained to make updates to the pages of their department's websites. That means they can go in, let's say, we'll use the clerk's office, for example. Folks in that department can go in, and if there's a change they need to make, if a link is broken, that kind of thing, they can do that and not have to wait for me. Before I started, IT managed the website, and each department was supposed to have one person in their department who was responsible for the content for their department. Like we're organized. We have all of these different things. We have more than 2,000 pages of content and information on our site. There's a lot of good stuff there. But if, say, the appraiser's office, they're doing valuations, they've got a mailing coming out soon, they're the ones who know when stuff changes. So they need somebody in their department who can go in and do that work. So we've had good success with that since the PIO position was created back in 2021. The responsibility for website management has fallen to the PIO. And over the years, I have not done a good job of keeping up with making sure when there's staff turnover, when responsibilities change, that the person designated for each department has the training they need, has the understanding that it's their responsibility to do these things. And I didn't necessarily know how to teach people to become website editors. We're going to talk a little bit later today about the website refresh with Civic Plus. In our contract with them, every 4 years, we get a little bit of a refresh for the site. They are also providing training as part of that this round, and hopefully for rounds in the future. So Annalise Trout, I don't know if you remember talking with her, she used to work in the elections office. She is now at Civic Plus, and she offered to come on site since she lives here and give us training for our staff. We'd be able to put through 3 weeks of training groups, get everybody through, make sure they understand the requirements, the expectations, how to use the tools. And moving forward, we're going to meet monthly with this group to make sure they have an understanding of best practices and how to make the website compliant with ADA requirements and also a good representation of Riley County. So I'm still available to help them with all this work and answer questions and teach people. And once everyone is up to speed, we might reduce the meetings to quarterly or kind of whatever is needed. But it's going to take many hands to do that work. And now thankfully we have many hands available and trained who can keep it up to date. There we go. A kind of overall view of what website accessibility work will include. We're removing outdated or non-essential documents first. So if there's things floating around there from 10, 15 years ago that nobody is interacting with, we're just going to take them down on the web from the website, clean that up, reduce the number of documents that need to be remediated, improve accessibility of what we do leave up there. And we're working out how best to do that. Might be the software. Adding corrective alternative text for images. So if you hover over, like there's a picture here. Let me see if I can get this other way. So if somebody's using a screen reader, the screen reader will describe a picture of the front entrance of the health department. And that's part of the requirements in the law. And then ensuring links are clearly labeled and functional. Pretty basic, but there again, since there is so much content, it's going to take a little time and effort to get there. Okay, so that's one project. It's a pretty big one. The other thing that I'm excited to do, and I've talked with John Ellerman and Will in GIS. When I worked at the city, I created this story map in ArcGIS that is a handy way to visualize and provide information about projects. And this is something I would like to replicate for the county. The workflow for it is a bit of a challenge, making sure that I know when something gets updated. Thankfully, John Ellerman with his monthly staff updates already compiles a lot of that information. So you'll see here, these little tags refer to projects that kind of easy for the public to see, okay, this is what's going on, road work, building work, what have you. And then in this side panel, you can have a picture of the project. They've got updates, a description of the project, estimated cost, contractor, and a schedule. And then here at the top here, the first tab that pops up is the active projects. They've got future projects that are coming, and they've got completed. So as people wonder where their tax dollars are going, I feel like this is a really handy reference. Since I've started here, I've kind of wanted to do a better job of communicating what we're working on for the county. So our content might include culvert replacements, bridge replacements out in the county, the new EM and RCFD headquarters, and we can provide updates on that project as it progresses. And we'll see, this was just on the city's homepage. It's just a link right there, and I would envision doing something similar once I get it built. So that's on my list of things I'd like to do. And then for the communications manual, how is my time? I'm doing kind of 30 seconds. Communications manual, making progress on that, and I'll continue to keep you updated. Progress is slow, but it's still coming along. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Ready, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Commissioners, Brittany is out ill today, so I'm pinch hitting. So this has been brought to you several times, I know. You can see the change from the last time that Brittany had brought this to you is the highlighted section on the commission agenda report. An employee may not earn reward points or incentives while conducting Riley County business. If the merchant is able to set up an account in the name of Riley County, reward points must be applied to this account. The only exception to the reward points being earned personally would be for transportation or lodging. I think this is wording that we went over with the board last time, so that is the only change from that previous time. So this is the proposed policy for the board to consider to adopt. Are there any questions?
Yeah, well, the transportation and lodging, if we're paying for an airplane flight, the employee can get points for that.
Yeah, because with airlines, we had a lot of discussion at department head meeting. Jacob was there, and airlines can't have anything tied to the organization. It's all tied to the individual. And so they get that, but also conversely, when an employee travels, the county may get free luggage or free whatever because it's in that person's name. It will come off their personal account. So it kind of goes both ways. So they can earn the points, but then also it may cost the county less by not having to pay for luggage or a carry-on or something like that.
Yeah, luggage is going up another $15.
And there,
Yeah, it's 30, 45.
with
Paid 40. Yeah, it's 40, it must be 55.
No, I heard 45, which I thought last time I traveled it was 30.
with airline, yeah, with airline, there's just no way to disconnect the two.
They don't really have points unless you have a credit card with them personally.
Well, if you're using your e-card with your name on it, the points would go onto that, and then the next time it comes off. So you're not getting the rewards up front, you're getting the rewards at the back of it, and then benefits the county by not having to reimburse for it. That's what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And hotels work in the same manner, so that makes sense.
So if the commissioners are so inclined, make a motion to approve. If not, any additional recommendations for changes, or we can go back to the drawing board if necessary. But I know it's been brought back to you a few times. So.
Yeah.
So that's the only change.
That is the only change.
Everything else.
Make a motion then, represent approving the P card policy as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to card policy as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners. Maybe like the 10-5 room like that. So it's.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But if there's rewards attached to both of them, you'll get both sets of rewards too, though, so.
Right, here's a non-relevant question. Does anybody know where I can buy like a really nice cast iron skillet with a lid?
Yes,
Dillard's.
Ace
Harbor?
Harbor,
Really?
yeah.
What is that?
Ace Hardware.
Oh, Ace.
I went to, I looked it up and I went there online, it said Home Depot, Adam, so I went to Home. But.
They got just-
Definitely no.
Yeah, they'll have like the number 7, number 10, and number 14 pants, but they don't get any more fancy than that.
Okay.
The other thing you can do, you go to lodge.com
Yeah,
and you can order just about everything from there.
yeah.
You could go to any farm station.
Yeah, that's probably true
Well, and I
too.
see they had some at Walmart, but none of them had the lids.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Well, it's probably a little bit different quality.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Without anything, this. Yes.
Yeah, I was in there about a month ago. I bought
Yeah, that's fine.
I bought a cast iron plate, flat on one side and it's grillable on the other side. You can just put on your gas stove and yeah, breakfast is great off of that.
That's what those are in for.
Yes. You can flip it on the other side and you can do a steak. Decided to hold off on my indoor wood pellet grill until it goes on sale.
Indoor wood.
Yeah. Or smoker grill, yeah. It's got a water deal on there that takes all the smoke and traps it into it. Yeah, it's $600 though, so I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale.
There are things you're gonna do when you don't have kids.
True. And I was thinking about smoked jerky.
Be something.
Yeah, that's something else.
At Marshall's, those big heavy cast iron. like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where-
I'd be careful about the enamel though.
Yeah,
That goes straight cast iron.
yeah, I hope, and I found large, even the big cast iron at Walmart.
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, well,
They do.
They just, yeah, they just have.
They will bring them in sometimes like during the spring season. So if you were to look maybe in a month or so, you might have a better luck in the barbecue section, but they don't keep them all year. Oh, yeah.
Well, on cookbook, the whole cookbook is to do, you cook everything in one pan. And all the recipes are just for two people. Cause that's all I need for two people. And so I find it, I would get really frustrated because all the recipes I look up, it's like, just feed 4 to 8 people. Yeah, I do not need that. Just give me for two. So. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I cook with.
I was gonna go out this weekend and go buy it, and it sounds like I might need to do that a little earlier.
You might need to do that today.
Because that's classes.
It's supposed to start sometime tomorrow afternoon late and then
Yeah.
off and on all the way through Sunday.
Snow, that's what the cold, is it cold?
Yeah, it's on Monday. To get it back up over 0 on Monday.
So I don't know if we start later and
We've got to wait and see.
how much snow there was and stuff.
You get to make that decision.
Your decision.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah, well, it's just,
different, but, Alvin and somebody else was gonna say, I'll probably get, check those, and see, it's,
I think if we get up over 8 to 10 inches, it's gonna take a couple of days and it might run into Monday.
yeah.
We'll see.
How late's it supposed to snow?
Huh?
Saturday night.
It's supposed to start tomorrow afternoon, early evening and go all the way through potentially to Sunday off and on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Last one said 2 meters small.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be measured. Oh, really?
yeah, we may have to look at that.
But there's a lot.
Well, for sure, we'll be patient as much as two supervisors people. They say wind wise.
For the windshield to get.
I know wind tomorrow morning is up there. It is gonna be cold over that meeting.
And you're gonna have to park in the parking garage and walk over there.
But what are the chances of finding a spot?
Well, that's what I'm wondering too.
Yeah, I don't make sense why they.
Well, not on a Friday morning.
I'm parking there.
Yeah.
And there's usually 75 to 100 people approximately. Is it?
It's not a spot in that park. Well, we had the lunch and K-State had.
Yeah. Over the noon hour, it's just tough.
It's really tough, man. Do it all in a day. And I'll say.
I didn't.
They gave
You
you
need
this
to check
count.
on.
Give me this count because they couldn't rent it in place because they know they can pick up a lot of. Parking.
Well, and that's the whole thing. We're paying for parking the entire day on top of, you know. Usually it's what, $2 an hour? For their whole day, that's.
It surprised me too, it's, at least I didn't see any of these emails, them addressing the parking.
No.
Used to do or anything. Cause I looked again and I didn't see it.
Did you have Cindy maybe check on that?
Is there any place to even have an agenda?
Yeah, there was an agenda.
Yeah, there is an agenda.
Oh,
Yeah, I clicked on something to get it.
There was an email sent out about it. We've sent out. There's a, it was sent on Wednesday.
Well, they really, it's not in the favor.
that's what, like I say, I need to read the whole email session with the headline. This is.
We're getting a growth strategy update from Matt Tarleton, who did the original consultant work. Update for Dr. Clavo from NBAF. Then a break, inside the deal, why development is sometimes harder than it looks. Local housing conditions, moderated panel, congressional staffers panel, Fort Riley update after lunch, and then community updates from 2 to 3. Discussion of the Yuma Street Cultural Center update. Well, that's a mouthful. And the accelerator update, and then a facilitated group discussion.
What are those solar?
Child care, sending.
Oh, that, okay.
Over off Campbell there.
Ready, commissioners?
Okay, oh, okay, thank you. Vivian Leva, Public Information Officer with more website stuff to talk about. So this is about the refresh coming up. Our website is hosted by Civic Plus, as I mentioned, and under our existing contract, every 4 years, we get a refresh at no additional cost. The last refresh occurred in January 2022, right when I first started. And to give you a little bit of context, a website refresh is not a redesign. It is mostly an update to the site's visual layout, underlying technology to ensure that it remains secure and good functioning and compatible with current devices and standards. So kind of along those same lines of technology is changing all the time. If we don't program in steps towards improving and changing, then we're already behind. This is just part of that process. We talked when we were first exploring and having meetings with Civic Plus. I talked with you when you were very, you wanted to make sure we weren't making change just for the sake of change. Like when they rearrange stuff at the grocery store and everybody gets frustrated. We don't want that situation here for people.
Today, tomorrow.
I know that always puts me in a bad mood. I had a route. I knew where everything was, but so I wanted to give you a quick tour today of the proposed changes to the site and make sure everything looks good to you and that we can move forward. The timeline will be, a few more meetings with Civic Plus as they work to make changes on the back end. And then by middle to late February, the switch would be flipped and we have the new look to the site. So we're just going to start here. This is our current site. We've got the menu up top, the search bar, icons, news, calendar on the homepage here. And I'm sorry, I should have shown you at the bottom. We've got some quick links and such here. So the new site will look very much the same. You'll see the navigation, same labels in the same order. As you hover over or see the menus are still there. This menu layout with kind of these boxes around different content types is just a little visual aid to link different topics together. I like that. It makes sense. It's becoming a new convention. The search function has moved from the middle of this banner area to the top right. That is the more standard place to put it. Most people look for a search in the top right of a page. These icons, you'll see the look of them changed a little bit, just graphic wise, but the order, like online payments at the right, online payments are still at the right of that bar. This These quick links under here are new, and they're things that are very easy to change. I've put, kind of based on search popularity, I chose the different, labels for these and links.
We don't do driver's license.
I know, or marriage licenses, but people look for that on our site. So this links off to
Okay.
the place where they need to go. What did I do?
Also, I hope you plan on changing the picture of our building on there at some point with the new window.
Yes, I took a few new ones and I think it looks really sharp. I just need to get in there and do it. I wanted to wait till we had the flower baskets and it looked nice, but it's not a huge amount of work. I can go ahead and change it with the winter scene and then take new ones with flower baskets out.
You take a snow picture.
I can gear up and trek out there if I am commanded to do so.
Kidding.
I'd rather.
Morning, right, the sun's coming up.
Oh, yeah, that would be a lovely photo, wouldn't it? Suddenly I don't feel so well. But these are easy to change. And I can change a lot of things on the site myself, which is really handy. Go ahead.
Oh.
Want to zoom in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Comprehensive plan picture taken.
oh, that's Amanda. I think this was one of the North County meetings.
That's it, Leonardville.
Leonardville. Yeah, they had a really good turnout for that.
They did, that was August, yeah, it was.
Yeah. So I've used that picture because I thought it had a good message. So on the news is still there. We've got news. They changed the look of it just a little bit. So we'll have 4 displaying up front instead of 3, and these are old topics. They are just kind of put there for placeholders to let you know what it's going to look like. And yeah, those windows do look bad, don't they? So glad we fixed that. But it'll function the same. The look is just a little bit different. And then below that, this is a new little feature section where we can highlight things, not really an advertising space, but something that we would want to highlight if we've got an upcoming event or something we want to catch people's attention. It's just a little space for that. If we find we don't need it or we don't use it, we can certainly get rid of it. The calendar is still here. I would like to, we're going to have events and reminders and jury duty. I'm hoping we can replace the road construction calendar with that story map that I just showed you. That's the goal. If there is some lag time in between those two things, it'll continue to be just the calendar, which as you see, there's.
I don't know. I think you should leave the road construction project up there. I think people want to know that.
There will be a road construction project update on the blah, blah, blah. We sure can, is the short answer. Yes, absolutely.
I don't think people like to be surprised when those things happen.
No, and we have the announcements that go out, so I want to try to make that information more prominent and not less, for sure. And then we still have the quick links at the bottom. Social media moved from this top corner here to the bottom. Again, that's a little more conventional place to put it.
Where's TikTok?
I've got your choreography all mapped out. We'll talk later.
Okay.
So that's that guy. And then the interior pages will also get a little bit of a refresh. This is our current layout. We've got this sidebar menu that will stay. It'll look just a little bit different. So we have blue instead, and it's largely the same. Anything you don't like other than, yes, I'll make a note, to make sure that the project calendar stays on the front.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping kind of that active project bit we'll have highlighted here so people can see when it's created. But just a little bit modernized, change some things. The blue was off, so they have a different blue.
It's almost a gray almost. Blue gray.
On there, it kind of looks a little bit gray. You're right, but it is our official Riley County blue, the same color as the
Yeah.
logo.
I think it's the lights that are distorting the screen.
Yeah,
I think that screen's just old.
that is also true. It pops on the little monitor here. So again, nothing major. Hopefully people will still be able to find the milk and eggs and do what they need to do with the site.
Looks a little more streamlined, a little modern, yeah.
Yeah. And you just have to take it a step towards that every few years. So you don't wake up one day and you're like, oh, 1994 called. And they want their website back.
We have websites in 1995?
Just barely.
I think they're a year or so off on that. We had links is what that was.
AOL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got, oh,
MySpace. Well, so that's kind of wanted to make sure that you were aware and you didn't have any issues with the direction that we're going. So I can give Civic Plus the thumbs up to continue their work. And then again, have the intend to have the new changes live by mid to late February.
that's just streamlined. It's not a major change. That's what I was worried about because
Yeah, just a little zhuzh.
it's fine. Do we?
The website, British Raleigh County website as presented.
Second.
Okay, it was moved and seconded to approve the website refresh design of the Raleigh County website as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Varga, Raleigh County Clerk. With the request on the preservation of ballots and election records. Per statute, we can destroy those records 22 months after the election has been held. That date would have been January 19th, 2026. What the statute requires the board to do is approve the Democratic representative, who in this case has been recommended, Lori Krause, and the Republican Party Chair, Betty Mattingly Ebert, to observe the destruction of the 2024 presidential preference primary election votes. Similar as we've done before. We've done this before.
That's going back to March 24 then, correct? Okay.
But yeah, the presidential primary.
Anyway, yeah.
Any questions?
No.
I know we've been through this exercise before.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve Democratic Representative Lori Krause and the Republican Party Chair Betty Mattingly Ebert to observe the destruction of the 2024 presidential preference primary election votes.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the Democratic representative Lori Krause and the Republican Party Chair Betty Mattingly Ebert to observe the destruction of the 2024 presidential preference primary election votes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You, Commissioners.
How many do you need?
Executive session.
Okay. I'll just make it for 10:50. Okay. I'll move the county commissioners, including Chairwoman Foki, Vice Chairman Ford, and Commissioner McKinley with Jacob Hansen, County Councilor, Attorney for the Commission, and Ina Burson, County Councilor, and Steve Shirley, Assistant County Appraiser, recess into executive session pursuant to the attorney-client consultation exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act regarding potential litigation. And the open meeting to resume the county commission chamber at 10:50 a.m.
Second.
So moved and seconded for the county commission to recess into executive session for the reasons previously stated under the attorney-client consultation exception to the Kansas Open Meetings Act. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Commissioners, your meeting is live.
We'll go ahead and move that the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded, the Board of County Commissioners come out of executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll also move that the record reflecting the binding action was taken during the executive session.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded that the record reflect no binding action was taken during the executive session. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Do you have any?
Yes, just stay warm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Say,
And so-
Yep.
it'd be dangerous to pull, leave it on its time.
Think if you don't need to be out, don't be out. Let the people that do need to be out, be out.
There's an 11 o'clock webinar from the National Weather Service. Russell shared, I'll sit in and.
Yeah, I've got it on here, but I probably won't get a chance to watch it. I'm sure he'll send a slide deck or whatever it is afterwards, so I'll just pick up on that and go from there.
With that, I move to adjourn the January 22nd meeting of Riley County Commission.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded during the January 22nd meeting of the Board of Raleigh County Commissioners. Okay.
Aye.
Everyone tomorrow.